Hi guys, my name is Mangarin Bishiri. So as you can see down below, I'll be talking about my motherhood journey. So I'll start off from the first trimester. Let's talk about the first trimester. Now for the first trimester, I didn't have much going on. It was now you see with the first trimester, now you're required to start your clinic visit. You start taking your supplements, and yeah, I think that's basically it. Now for the supplements, you take just a tablet a day, and with that, it's let's see, every month it's 1200 for the box. I used to take Pregnacare myself, and now the next now for the clinic visits, now you see you okay, how do I say it? For the first trimester, you on the first clinic there are tests that you're required to take. And also there is a scan that you're also required to take. Now for the first scan, uh for the first scan is usually between 8 to 12 weeks. Mainly the purpose of this scan is to check it's called an normality scan. It's basically to check the fluid connecting the head and the neck if it's intact. If I got that correctly, correct me if I'm wrong down below. Then now you see they're gonna schedule you for another clinic visit, whereby that is between 18 to 21 weeks. That is this. Basically, you're going to be in the second trimester. Now for this second scan, it's a fetal scan just to see and make sure that the fetus is growing properly. Yep. And now for me, during the first trimester, I didn't have the only challenge I can say I had. I was always tired. I felt like I was always tired. Yeah, and that that was the only thing that I did have trouble with. Now for the second trimester, it was actually my best because I was not tired. You can do everything and anything. You can go anywhere. You don't have like you just don't feel lazy. The second trimester was actually more alive. Now for the third trimester, with the third trimester, I see your stomach is getting bigger, getting tired. You're not able even to do most chores that require bending. You can do anything, maybe cooking, because when you see cooking, you're standing up, you're doing dishes, that is you standing up. But anything that requires you to bend, it's just so draining. Get all right now. During my second trimester, at around 6 months, I don't know, was it six? If not six, maybe 5. Now I lost my job because I remember telling my mom that she was like, "Ah, it's okay now. It's just utadu." I mean, you can't cling on to hope that is already gone. You move on to the next. She's usually one reassuring person. And she does, it's like, okay, akuna ni sawa. Like move on to the next. You didn't get that job, look for another one. You just can't stay there and crying for nothing. And it's a really good mindset to have because if you keep on clinging onto things, you're gonna just feel so really bad about yourself. But anyway, now we're in the now with the second trimester. Now I did the 18 to 21 weeks scan just to see that the fetus is growing. You're also able to tell the what do you call it, the gender of the child. But for me, I don't know. I remember being very hesitant about knowing. Okay, the radiologist would ask me, "Are you sure you don't want to know?" And I was like, "Yeah." I can just tell her like, "No, I don't want to say." Okay, now let's do it now. Now you see, I'm still taking my supplements in the second trimester. Now we're down to the third. Now with the third, you're starting to get tired, and I remember getting to now. We now 9 months. It's 2 weeks have past the due date, and I still haven't had any labor pain. So I remember telling my mom, I think I'm just going to go for an induction. Yeah, because we can't keep waiting. So we go to hospital, and the induction process begins. Now, with the induction, what happened? Let me speak from my experience. What happened is they use like a syringe with a needle. They break the needle such that it remains with like a very small blunt end. That is what they use to break the water. After that, they put in a catheter. Now the catheter was used to like let me say to drain the water, because when it came out, it's a balloon. It came out like a balloon full of water. I don't know if I'm making sense. Yeah. All right. Now we waited to see if the labor pains are going to start. It didn't happen. So now they had to use a different medicine. I it would okay. It tasted like salty water to me. And then they also had to you put a drip also onto your hand. That was overnight. So let me see. It started at around 7 p.m. all the way to 7 a.m. And still the pains did not come. So now we had to find, not to find, to go a bit higher, get a stronger medicine. Now, you see, anytime they start that process, you're not required to eat anything. I don't know why they told. I don't know if it's because to avoid puking or I don't know. Anyway, now with that medicine, and then labor pains are really weird. They come gradually. It's like you see how you climb stairs. When you're starting, you're not getting tired. But I see the more you keep climbing, that is when you start feeling the impacts of the stairs. Okay, so now we going up. Now the pains start coming. They come. They're off and on. And you see now that may when it's finished, they add another one. They keep adding another one. And that I spent the entire day doing that. You see, I had the labor pains for an entire day and still didn't get dilated to 10 centimeters. Because I see every time they would check, they would tell you, come we see if you're fully dilated. And then that thing is very uncomfortable. Someone is. Anyway, now they check if I'm dilated. I only got to 8 centimeters. That is after 11 hours. No, I don't know, maybe 10 hours. Maybe 10 hours. Because let's say I started at 8 a.m. all the way to 11. Calculate those hours. And then still, I wasn't able to get to 10 centimeters. Now, the doctor in charge told the nurse to stop the medication. We're going to go in for an emergency C-section. So that happened. Now, fast forward to now we have a baby here. And now with the C-section, you dump from your waist down, your functional upwards. And in 6 hours, they expect you to be standing. So when they stand there, they wait for you to stand up. Next, you have to change the clothes that you're wearing. You have to put in fresh clothes. It's hey, and you don't like. There's nothing to like hold on to around you. Eh, yeah. Anyway, it was tough, yo. Now you see. Now another thing is anytime you feel like coughing or sneezing, you see that the wound is still fresh. Now they tell you make sure the wound doesn't fracture. Now you're asking yourself, now what am I going to do? However, now what I will do is I would bend. That way I'll not feel the pain or the impact. Now you see with hospitals there are no pillows. So now the only option now, because you see when you have a pillow you just place it on the wound, cough or laugh or sneeze. That way you're not gonna feel the pain. Now you see with hospitals there are no pillows. So you just bend to avoid feeling the pain. And you see, Yep. Now then the other thing now you see you're able to now stand, but you're not able to stand like straight. You're still bending. It's your mm-mm. I really had a hard time. And then during labor pains, my mom said one thing. Think hata asikie uchungu na asirudi hapo tena. How would she tell me that? Anyway, it's okay. Now, fast forward. Now you have your child with you. It's time to breastfeed. You see, it's the first time, and now for me, I had flat nipples, and now for such so that the baby is able to suck the milk out of the nipples, they have to keep it pointed. Now, what they do is they pull it with a syringe. When it's like a suction, you're sucking in that nipple. Just And you see that if the baby is not able to latch properly, he gets frustrated and big, he starts crying a lot. Breastfeeding should be something it should be talked about because that thing is really painful, so painful. I remember my sister telling me to just give yourself grace. And so every time I'm about to breastfeed, I would tell myself that relax. Because you see, if you're stiff, I don't know, you just have to relax so that you're able to hold the baby properly, and then that way the baby is going to be able to breastfeed. There was even a time, now we're out there basking in the sun, the nurses told us to go outside. I was even crying, and then the nurse would ask, sasa mtoto anajiona tunalia. Eh. And then, it was painful, y'all. Now, also, I remember telling my sister to bring me nipple covers because my nipples are cracked, they're bleeding. One has a wound. I mean, now you see when the baby is sucking, it has blood in it. And then I was like, it's not, it's not, I know it didn't feel right for me. So, however, she recommended a nipple cream for me. It's called Lanisol. Now, you see, the good thing with that nipple, you don't have to wipe it out when the baby is breastfeeding. They can just breastfeed with that cream on it. That way, you don't have to feel the pain, and the nipples are healing faster. So every time before and after, you put on the cream, and it was a game changer for me. So it did work out. So with time, I got to get used to it, but I did still have a problem with latching. My child was not able to latch properly, so that had been a challenge. So every time I breastfeed, my mom kept telling me, make sure the baby is latching every time. You just there's that clicking sound. It's actually very annoying to your ears. So it was a hard. Uh, I had a hard time latching, getting him to latch properly. But as of today, there's no clicking sound and he's able to latch properly. So it's a win for me. Anyway, no, no. When okay, let me rewind a little. When I was going for labor, now I see I've carried all these things. I have googled what to carry when going in for labor, this and that. I don't know what. I carried so many unnecessary things because I was thinking you're gonna live in your clothes, like your clothes. The entire time you're always in a maternity. I don't know robe. Let me call it a robe. I had carried so many unnecessary things. The only thing that I got to use was oil. The oil that I carried because if they give you toothpaste, they give you toothbrush. They even give you oil, but I still carried mine. Anyway, the next time, if you go, just carry maybe your skincare and the clothes that you're gonna wear going back home. I carried so many unnecessary things, so many. Anyway, now another thing, I have also been, so I had actually started doing pumping. pumping and storing milk. Now, the essence of pumping: one, it helps increase milk production. Two, it's also you're building on a storage such that when you go back to work, when your baby's left at home, they're gonna have milk, and they're not like they don't have to like depend on formula to drink, so you don't have to worry about that. Now they also think now for one thing about pumping, always have a schedule. If you pump at 4 a.m. twice, maybe let's say twice a day, 4 a.m. and let's say 2 p.m. Always pump on the same at the same time. Now you see for with the reason behind that is now you see your breast is thinking if now mostly you can do 3 pumps a day. I necessarily I'm just giving an example, so do not like I'm taking my word for it. Just maybe you can do two, you can do three, whichever is good for you. The essence is to increase your milk production, and also now you see with your baby breastfeeding, it's getting much more. Now, quick story. I was actually pumping, storing milk. I had almost 40 bags of milk, but someone somewhere, then that person is watching, didn't switch on the fridge, and I had to throw away 40 bags of milk. Just pains. Pardon my jam, by the way. I'm still mad at you. But anyway, now you see, but then like now, then I see with as time goes by, the product. If you don't pump, and if you don't pump, actually, it's gonna go down. Your milk supply is starting. You notice it's going down as compared to how it was during the first days. But yeah, that's my story from the first day to the now. If now for things that I may have lost or gained during my pregnancy, I'll start with what I lost. Sleep. The last time I had proper sleep was maybe 6 months ago. The longest I have slept during this period is maybe 2 hours, and even in the 2 hours, you're not fully asleep because you need to keep checking. Are they sleeping on the right position? Are they covering their faces? Sometimes you can find them choking. Like you have to keep on. It's like a watchman job. So sleep has a. I would definitely kill for just 6 hours of sleep straight. Another thing was alone time. Maybe let's say I just want to sit. Sometimes you just want to sit down, watch TV, no distractions, use your phone, scroll on Instagram without having to think of any other thing or anything around you. That is gone. Now you see, now let's say for example, it's also not. You also feel guilty. Okay, for me, I feel guilty because I can't use my phone, and then my child is right here. It feels and then they're looking at you and you're using your phone. You feel guilty, So you have to like choose him or your phone. Another thing with social life. If you know me, I am always outside. Always, you'll always find me outside. If you know me. Now the last time I was outside was maybe a year and a half ago. But don't worry, I'll be coming back. I am coming back. Social life has totally changed. And then actually, do I have friends? No, I do not have any friends. If it, maybe one. I just have one friend. My identity. I did lose my identity maybe for the first 3 months, but after that, slowly it started coming back. And I see for me, I'm someone. I'm actually very active on Instagram. I post a lot, but for the past 1 year, I haven't been posting. But I'm actually getting back to that. So please, just go. I will attach my name, my link down below. So do follow.